Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we of course are doing a twin flame reading. I do channel twin flame readings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you to those of you who are tuning in during these live chats. We are able to chat in real time with one another as these readings are premiering, and these live chats are really beautiful and healing, high vibrational spaces. So I really hope if you haven't gotten the chance to listen to one of these readings live, you do stop by at one of those times or days. I just saw the number 222, and at the same time, the action card came out right away. I heard dragging your feet, dragging his feet, and envy in the upright position. Feelings of lack or unfulfillment in regards to action. So right away, I am picking up here on what I'm seeing as a divine masculine, which, by the way, of course, these labels, divine masculine and divine feminine, are describers of energy, of the balance of energy. So these aren't referring to necessarily male and female counterparts. Do keep that in mind. A masculine energy can be a female and a feminine energy can be a male. Also, I usually say this at the beginning, but use care to only take from this reading what resonates with you and your situation, because I do channel many different energies, many different twin flame connections. So although this reading is meant to share channeled messages about trends in twin flame energy, both the masculine and the feminine energy that are affecting us as twin flames worldwide, the way in which this energy shows up for you and manifests either within yourself or within this connection could be very different depending on your situation. Now, if you would like me to channel more specific messages for you or your person, be sure also to like this video and double check that you are subscribed to this channel. Because by liking and subscribing, I can actually pick up more easily on your energy. You can even feel free to set intentions for this reading if you feel guided to do so. Also, as I'm channeling these divine masculine messages here to get us started, I'm also sensing that, or really being reminded by my guides to share that when I'm channeling on either so-called side of this equation, the divine masculine or the divine feminine, do keep in mind that these channeled messages can and often do apply to your inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine. I actually have a podcast video coming out soon, and I think I'm going to title it Twin Flame Journey Isn't About the Person, or Twin Flame Connection Isn't About the Person, meaning that although we experience these energy dynamics, the inner masculine and feminine energy, in a profound way externally in the physical through our interactions and conversations, etc., with this other physical human being, at the end of the day, what we are really trying to achieve through the twin flame journey is this inner harmonious union between our masculine and feminine within. Deceit in the reverse position also coming out here. I just heard a lifting of the veil, a lifting of illusion. And in connection with that, a heart chakra opening with the fourth chakra in the upright position. So I feel that we're seeing a progression of healing here for the collective masculine. The progression of these cards is almost telling a story. It's walking us through the healing process of the collective divine masculine that is continuing to take place right now at this time on the planet. We move from action, which I said I heard dragging your feet or someone dragging his feet. So this action card could indicate a divine masculine who I heard was taking the wrong action. Of course, there's no right or wrong from a soul level, but I feel I'm speaking from the perspective of the physical divine feminine counterpart, looking at the masculine saying, divine masculine, I feel like I wanted to say you're doing all the wrong things or taking all the wrong actions, but I know that that statement has a lot of judgment attached to it. I just feel that there was a divine feminine feeling this level of sadness, this deep level of sadness, watching the divine masculine go down this path in life that she knew would lead him to greater feelings of unhappiness. On the side of the masculine, this could indicate with this action card, by the way, the numbers 1 and 7 may be significant to someone listening, but this could also indicate a masculine who was really thrusting himself ahead in life, climbing some kind of a corporate ladder or just pushing himself to the point of burnout, either academically, in his career, or in his relationships even, doing what he thought was right from society's perspective or from his ego's perspective, but not what was truly right for his soul. And I'm getting a lot of past energy from this card, although, of course, some of these energies may be still affecting divine masculines in the present, but it is something that they're shifting out of, because all that dynamic gave them was lack, was unfulfillment, was unhappiness. With this envy card in the upright position, I don't feel this coming through as much as envy in the form of jealousy, but envy in the form of dissatisfaction. Happiness on the surface. This masculine may have looked happy to others on this superficial level. He may have looked successful, but beneath the surface, there was this deep feeling of dissatisfaction. It's like this masculine was metaphorically living in this metaphorical home that was so beautiful, and yet it didn't have a strong foundation. It was made of paper. It was superficial in this kind of metaphor. There wasn't anything really there supporting it on a deeper level, meaning that this life, this metaphorical home, or even this could be a literal home, a family, a relationship, ways that this masculine put down roots in connections or in places that weren't really right for him on a soul level. Whatever it was, I feel that these walls are coming down with deceit in the reverse. This paper house this masculine constructed is falling to the ground. And beneath all of that, beneath that illusion that looked so beautiful and yet wasn't truly real, the masculine is left feeling like, I feel someone just having this feeling of being naked, being completely vulnerable, defenseless. There's nothing to hide behind. But through that, through no longer having anything to hide behind, that is how this heart opening is now occurring. Because when this masculine can't go externally for any form of feelings of support or validation or satisfaction, fulfillment, he has no choice but to go within. And going within himself is resulting in this radical heart center opening for this masculine. And this really brings us up to the present, because although you might find yourself at times in different stages of this kind of progression here, because do remember that these energies, they don't shift instantaneously for everyone. These shifts energetically can take longer for certain people or certain twin flame couples or unions to show those energies, to reflect those energies. Wow, very powerful progression of cards coming through right away. I want to see if I can get an overarching theme card for the masculine from the Moonology deck. So what is the theme of all of this for the masculine? And of course, 3 cards came out. Surrender to the divine. You and your loved ones are safe, and have faith in your dreams. Now, interestingly, one of these cards is the new moon in Cancer. So someone could have Cancer energy in their birth charts. Alternatively, this can speak to a kind of profound emotionalism that the masculine is feeling right now. He could be feeling really emotional about his life or about this connection, regardless of what he's showing on the surface. And through this feeling of vulnerability that we were speaking of, this crumbling down of any illusions, any of those metaphorical paper houses this masculine tried to build, through all of this, he is really truly being called to surrender to the divine. And also with this have faith in your dreams card, I really heard have faith in the unseen, have faith in the unknown. Specifically in what your soul knows, divine masculine, that transcends the understanding of the ego. Because I feel that there's a masculine here who in the past fell into this trap of feeling this pull, this tug in his soul in a certain direction, in his life, in his career. But specifically, I feel this came up in this twin flame connection, for many of you, romantically speaking as well, where this masculine felt the connection. He felt all the emotion behind it, the way that it activated him, the way that it opened him up. But then when those walls began to crumble, when that superficial life that he had built or superficial concept of self that he had created began to fall apart, that lifting of the illusion caused this masculine to feel so vulnerable that his ego stepped in. And although, again, he was still feeling that soul deep attraction to what his soul knew was right for him, was on the right path for him, and away from this other thing that was very superficial and ego-driven, whether it was a job, a relationship, whatever the case. Although the masculine felt that pull very consciously, he didn't trust it. There wasn't that element of surrender, and really the surrender can only come from truly having faith, being able to see and know through the eyes of the soul and through the knowing of the soul what this masculine couldn't yet fully grasp through his logical thinking mind. And I do feel that that logic, that over-attachment to logic, did create a kind of trap for this masculine that he could have fallen into in the past. The card Playfulness came out here as well. And I feel this speaks to a masculine looking back on connecting with the divine feminine and seeing how his divine feminine physical counterpart, really brought out his lighthearted side, his inner child, allowed him to let loose. I see that in these moments of so-called playfulness. It's like these were the moments the masculine, in the presence of the divine feminine, let down his guard and allowed himself to momentarily fully connect with his more soulful, spiritual side of self. But I feel that these moments would always pass, were temporary, and although it's almost like the divine feminine would be given hope through these moments of truly seeing the lights in the masculine's eyes, truly seeing this vulnerable, open side of him. But then I feel he would fall back into that trap of overanalyzing, of over-applying his logical ego mind to the situation and allowing it to pull him away from, again, this path that his soul knew was right for him. But his ego was denying here. So I want to reshuffle the cards here and see what is going on with the Divine Feminine. Walking away in the reverse position. Woman holding a coin in the upright position. The thinking woman reversed. Let's see if we can get one more card here. Hostilities reversed. With this walking away reversed card, I'm picking up on a few different energies. The first thing I'm getting is that for some Divine Feminine, there was this feeling of not wanting to leave, but needing to leave, being pushed to leave. And I feel that with woman holding a coin upright, this can sometimes indicate some kind of a karmic situation. And I see this Divine Feminine watching, it's almost as though she was watching the masculine, seeing him repeat some form of a karmic cycle, whether this was some negative emotional pattern, behavior pattern, addiction, connecting with a third party, whatever the case was. I feel this feminine looking at this situation and saying, I don't want to leave, but I feel I have to leave. It's like this feeling of being backed in the corner, of really having no choice but to walk away. And yet ultimately, with this journey reverse card coming out here, the truth of this situation is that, yes, although what this Divine Feminine experienced with this masculine caused her a lot of feelings of emotional pain, what she was really being called to on a soul level was journey reversed, this journey turned inward, this internal journey within herself. And I feel that something about this situation with the masculine being more present with him physically in this way somehow prevented this Divine Feminine from being fully capable of reconnecting with that inner self. There's something about a black cat that keeps coming up here for someone, by the way. I keep hearing whatever this karmic cycle or situation was, although there was a lot of emotion wrapped up in this situation, which again, a karmic can be a person, but it can also be any form of interference or perceived interference to twin flame connection. So this can be a certain persistent negative habits of being, a limiting belief that keeps playing out for the counterparts. But whatever this karmic was, I keep hearing it was calling both counterparts to this inner journey that needed to happen for both of them before this connection could proceed. But moving forward with the thinking woman reversed and hostilities reversed, I'm hearing it's like this Divine Feminine saying, I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of feeling myself triggered in some way over and over again, my ego triggered. I feel someone kind of getting that anxious, heart racing, fight or flight kind of response. And I feel this is what the Divine Feminine is moving away from. She is saying, I am seeking peace both within myself, within my life, and within whatever connections I participate in the physical, including my connection with you, Divine Masculine. It's like this feeling of I don't want to fight anymore. I feel that for some people watching, there could have been a lot of arguments or emotional fighting, verbal fighting of some sort between the masculine and feminine here in the past. This won't apply to everyone. There's also something about books or a library here coming out for someone. But I feel that this Divine Feminine was saying, well, on the surface level, she was saying, I am tired of fighting. I'm tired of whether it's fighting my own ego triggers or these verbal fights with you, Divine Masculine, these verbal conflicts, whatever the case is. But what's really going on here beneath the surface is that this divine feminine was tired of fighting a pattern that it was time to break out of for both counterparts. And really she was and is creating, setting this new pattern, breaking free of, again, whatever this karmic contract or cycle was, and shifting into a new way of being. So what is this pattern that this feminine was shifting out of? Second chakra in the upright position. I heard a connection with nothing to back it up or nothing to support it. So this could have been a pattern of the divine masculine making promises or saying things that ended up feeling like empty promises to the divine feminine, or didn't feel supported by his correct, meaning aligned action in the physical world, that ultimately led to these, I heard, blocks to getting closer. It's like every time we get close, I hear this divine feminine saying, you divine masculine, put up a wall or disconnect or go cold. So then all of the plans and promises, I see these counterparts. It's like making plans of the future together, but this divine feminine saying, I want that future divine masculine we imagined and envisioned and talked about together. And I am holding my vision on that. But at the same time, I don't want these realities of these negative patterns continuing to interfere with our connection. And it's time for us to shift out of those so-called karmic patterns. So yes, I do want that vision of us where we are fully connected, where we are going deeper with one another, specifically through the sacral chakra, the seat of intimacy, and also the seat of creativity. Because this energy flows both direction. This creative energy flows into the creation of connection in our relationships. Also, it flows inward in creation of arts and expression of self. And it's like there's this perception of the feminine that because of these blocks that this masculine was putting up in the past to getting closer, to being more intimate emotionally, or being more stable in a physical connection with one another, because of these blocks, the divine feminine said, it's like walking away but looking back with sadness. It's like I see her reflecting on the past of their connection, and it's this energy of smiling and crying at the same time, because there's this feeling of divine masculine. Yes, this path has been incredibly challenging and incredibly painful at times, but there is also this part of me that is so grateful that I've been able to connect with this mirror reflection of my soul, with my most ancient soul connection in this life. I heard mixed bag. So it's like this divine feminine at times feels like this mixed bag of emotions, because at times she can't help but feel those ego triggers, even potentially feelings of resentment at things that the masculine did, or that what resentment towards what happened in their connection. But at other times, she feels these deep levels of connectedness to him and gratitude for being able to experience such connectedness and the soul expansion that has resulted from this connection in this lifetime. But there's kind of a feeling of conflict here, because it's like, I want that vision, divine masculine, that we created together, but I don't want the reality that you've been giving me. So I have no choice but to hold this space and to hold that vision we created until you are ready to rise to that vision. However, I need to say, this isn't an energy of stagnancy for this feminine. This isn't an energy of waiting. When I talk about holding the space for the masculine, I don't mean, sitting around, waiting around for him, anxiously hoping that he will heal or that he will change. What I mean is this divine feminine having the kind of, or shifting into, being called into the kind of deep level faith and surrender that allows her to confidently step forward in her life, to fully balance and heal her inner masculine by creating that structure and forward momentum in her life in an aligned way, moving towards her personal goals and dreams, creating in whatever sense resonates with her soul, creating what she came here to create, to do, whether it's in life or love or in her connections. So I'm going to reshuffle the cards here. And see if I can channel what the Divine Masculine wants to say to the Divine Feminine. Caring connections in the reverse position. I loved you and I still love you, but I know that I didn't give you what you needed. There's this understanding that although this masculine felt the connection on the soul level, on the energy level, equal to the Divine Feminine, there's also this conscious realization that I wasn't showing up in the physical in the ways that my feminine counterpart deserved in the past. What else does this Divine Masculine want to say to the Divine Feminine? All tied up in the reverse position. I heard I'm ready to have a conversation. If you're in a period of silence with your masculine where you haven't heard from one another in a while or communicated in the physical in a while, I hear this masculine saying, I want to talk. Now, of course, this won't apply to all of you, but even if you are in communication with your masculine, I feel almost a sense of desperation from this card, like, Divine Feminine, I need to talk to you. Or I want to communicate more with you. I want to deepen this connection in regards to communication. I want to talk more. So even if you are in connection, in communication in the physical with your masculine Divine Feminine, I see him wanting to communicate on a deeper level. And this is a natural manifestation of, with the heart chakra card coming out here, this ongoing heart center opening for this masculine. And also, I want to talk about my feelings because the heart center is connected to feelings, emotions, processing of emotions. I feel like some kind of realization has dawned on this masculine in connection with his feelings about the Divine Feminine or about the connection. Patience in the upright position. Be patient with me. I'm so scared. I'm so terrified of being this vulnerable. And I'm terrified of the intensity of the realizations that are now dawning upon me about how I have always felt about you. But somehow in the past, I blocked those feelings through those. Again, I'm seeing that paper house. It's like through these illusions I constructed in my life, but now I'm standing here in front of you, completely vulnerable. And all I can say is that I love you, but also there's this feeling of, is it too late for this masculine also? In the extended version of the reading, I will be getting into channeling more in-depth messages from both the masculine and the Divine Feminine to channel more information about potentially what could be going on emotionally in this connection, as well as how this could be playing out physically. So the link to these extended readings is always under the pinned comment and description box that is located beneath the video. So if you do feel like you are resonating with the reading and you'd like to join us over in our Soul Tribe on Patreon for the extended, then the links are available to you under this video. So let's speak now to the Divine Feminine. Wow, 2 images of a gate coming out here. This is so interesting. The garden and the gate upright and walking away in the reverse position. And both cards have the visual of the gates. In the first card, the garden and the gate, it is a woman behind the security of a gate, making the choice to stay safe and protected. And walking away reversed is a woman exiting a gate, leaving, So I feel like this shows a shift in the divine feminine, this shift from prioritizing security with the garden and the gates to prioritizing deep level soul expansion. I feel like I'm tuning into a divine feminine who I heard played it safe. There may be a divine feminine who felt as though for a lot of her life she was playing it safe, so to speak. Living from, with the thinking woman reversed, living from a somewhat ego-based mindsets, which isn't necessarily a negative thing. It's simply how we are programmed to live in a very logical way, to buy into society's belief systems, paradigms, and programs. I feel this is speaking to this divine feminine prior to her spiritual awakening. And I heard a divine feminine say, prior to meeting you, divine masculine. So I feel that something about this divine feminine's connection with the masculine in this physical lifetime could have triggered this shift from feeling as though she was following all of society's rules, playing it safe in life in some sense, to really taking a leap in her life. Not just in this connection, or perhaps this isn't even showing up specifically in this physically manifested twin flame connection for her right now. This could be showing up in the way that she is living her life more boldly, more bravely, sharing her gifts, sharing her passion, listening to and following her intuition, no longer caring as much what other people around her think about who she is or how she is living her life. But also seeking peace with hostilities reversed, seeking balance in her life. I see someone doing yoga and also doing some kind of like having like a smoothie or doing a juice cleanse. There's something related to eating more healthful or vibrant kinds of foods here for this divine feminine. So that might apply for someone. It's interesting because a lot of these cards coming out aren't actually connected specifically to the physical divine masculine counterpart. So I feel that some divine feminines may feel as though at times they grow tired of this physical connection because of, I'm hearing sometimes it gets very emotionally or energetically heavy with the masculine and the physical. So for some divine feminines, there could be this kind of shift in focus where the focus is more so on their life. They're moving forward in their work or in their life or in their passions, building their empires, so to speak, in this life, healing themselves on a deep level, meaning fully balancing and integrating their shadows and their inner masculine and inner feminine, rather than fixating so heavily on the external masculine, showing up for and supporting themselves rather than feeling as though they're waiting around for the masculine to show up for them more strongly in the physical. But ironically, in a true twin flame connection, it is this very healing, this deep level balancing of the inner masculine and feminine for this divine feminine that will lead to naturally an opening of greater manifested connection between herself and the physical counterpart of the masculine, because all of the communication, interactions, everything we experience with our twin flame in the physical is a reflection of the balance within each of us of our inner masculine and inner feminine that exists within both counterpart, and how those inner energies are in conflict or in balance. And I feel that for this divine feminine specifically in the past, there was a lot of conflict between her inner masculine and feminine, because I feel that with Door to Romance reversed, I feel that this won't be for everyone, but there is a divine feminine here who sought out masculine figures, perhaps even starting with, her father figure in her life, to validate her, to provide her with a sense of approval that she wasn't yet ready to find within herself. She was seeking externally what she was being guided to find within, that internal support, that internal sense of confidence and validation. And so this divine feminine could have had this cycle of feeling as though things were never working out with masculine energies in her life. This won't be for everyone. This will just be for a few people. But there's a feminine here who, with door to romance reversed and broken heart upright, it's like I see her going around this kind of merry-go-round, this cycle of feeling like she can never quite find what she's looking for in love and relationship with other masculine energies. And I feel this happened even before or after, if she's connected with masculines after meeting her twin flame masculine. I feel like this has happened with many masculine energies in her life, especially romantically seeking, this dynamic of seeking out, kind of longing for love and seeking out this support from other masculines, this love, but love defined as supporting her in a way that she wasn't supporting herself, showing up for her in a way that her inner masculine wasn't showing up for herself. And this always led inevitably, sorry, my voice cracked a little bit there. There's so much coming through right now energetically. But this always led to this divine feminine ultimately feeling brokenhearted, feeling abandoned, feeling betrayed. And I feel that this wound, this so-called karmic cycle playing out in her relationships could have even started with a father wound, with a father figure who didn't show up for her, fully support her emotionally or materially in the ways that she deserved. And so I feel that there could be a divine feminine here who actually self-abandoned in childhood to try to gain the approval of her father, or if not a father, of some kind of structure or system, whether it was a job field in academia. It's like I see this divine feminine completely throwing her inner masculine and feminine out of balance in the past, trying to overwork herself or overachieve or do something to win the approval of either a masculine energy like a father in her life or a highly masculine energy charged structure such as winning the approval of society generally, because there is a lot of strong wounded masculine energy running through modern day society. So it could have been this divine feminine just simply trying to overwork or overachieve to gain the approval from society generally, from people generally. But this always led for her to feelings of being abandoned. But really what she was feeling was the effects of this self-abandonment manifested outward. So I feel that I hear her saying, masculine, you hurt me worst of all. And from a 3D perspective, it feels like the divine masculine highlighted, spotlighted this dynamic, which of course he did, because in twin flame connection, our twin flame counterpart will only reflect to us what is going on within us energetically. So as long as this divine feminine held on to this, again, merry-go-round cycle of self-abandoning for other masculines and then ending up feeling abandoned, her twin flame divine masculine counterpart was going to show that, reveal that to her until she healed that wound or pattern. So I feel like now, in the present moment, this divine feminine is being called to healing this cycle once and for all, this cycle of self-abandonment for the purpose of gaining approval, shifting that to self-support, showing up for the self, having self-confidence, self-validating, self-soothing, and through that, allowing her natural magnetism to flow, allowing herself to magnetically attract love in all forms, platonically and romantically, not from a space of need, I need you to support me in ways I don't support myself, but from a space of power, a space of strength and confidence. And I feel for whoever I'm channeling here, which again, this will not necessarily be for everyone. I feel for whoever this divine feminine is, because this is no easy feat. This is something she is healing, not just for herself, but this is a very, very deep-seated, collective, divine feminine energy wound that most likely has shown up in her family's life and or her family's line generationally, but has also absolutely shown up over and over in our society as well. So beautiful divine feminine, whoever you are resonating with this message, know that the work you are doing goes so far beyond you. I am so proud of you. You are so supported in this work. And I know that these specific messages all kind of wanted to tumble through, but I know that these aren't going to connect with everyone, so make sure you only take what resonates with you. And in the extended version of this reading, I will be channeling higher self and spirit guide messages from this Divine Feminine's spirit team, or from the Divine Feminine spirit guides and spiritual support generally, to bring forth higher self messages of guidance for the Divine Feminine. So again, the link to the extended is in the pinned comment and description box. But for now, I do want to pull a Rumi Oracle card to close out this reading before we head over to the extended reading together. So what is one final card for Twin Flames listening to this reading? Celestial Rose of Ma. This is the number 10 card, by the way, if that number is significant for anyone. And I'm just going to channel a few messages from the guidebook to close out our reading here. The taste of bitterness becomes sweetness in love. The searching in the dark finds the light of faith revealed in love. Love transforms thistles into jasmine. Love layers heaven and gifts us with wings to soar into its mystery. Love transforms our every thought into a desire of the heart. O love, how divine is your luring. Beauty flows from your unseen face. Your very nature is radiant with joy. You manifest vibrant hues in every flower. Your touch dazzles all creation. Every particle is attracted toward you, longing to unite and dwell in you. Rumi. And the guidebook also says, you will be open and surrendered in a way you have longed to be, but in a way you've never quite known how to go about. This spiritual gift signifies the ending of a period of suffering and the opening up to a time of new opportunity, of flourishing and thriving release of your unique soul fragrance into the world. It is a gift worth having. Your ready for love hearts can now be free from expectations and instead be open to life with curiosity and reverence. Oh, those thorns! They have served their purpose, not in and of themselves, but rather that they have proven you worthy of the rose and ready now to receive its beauty, healing, and grace. I really hope you received something helpful or clarifying from this reading today. If you did, please leave me a comment under this video in the comments section. You can also subscribe to this channel to receive future energy updates for Twin Flame Connection, and I also do create Twin Flame podcast episodes as well to share more information about the Twin Flame journey. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who are here, who are co-creating this channel along with me. I am so grateful for all of you, and I hope you have a beautiful start to your week.